What's up, gamer? If I were to ask you if you could only know one smoke lineup per map, what would they be? It's an interesting question that nobody asked me to answer, but I thought it would make for a good video for two reasons. Number one, maybe you'll find some really impactful and important smoke lineups that, in my opinion, if you could only know one smoke per map, you should know that one. And number two, I thought it was just like kind of an interesting question to talk about. So please comment as we go along if you agree, if you disagree, what smokes would you rather only know rather than the one that I put? It's a silly question, but I think it's interesting, so let's go. An important variable here for this silly thought experiment is that you can still throw smokes on the fly. They just can't be lineups. So we're gonna assume that, for example, you can still smoke CT on Inferno by just throwing it at CT. So this is only for specific lineups that you have to learn and memorize. So let's jump into it right after Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a swaggy automated CSGO trading site. It's super easy to use. All you have to do is pick something in your inventory, check how much it's worth, and then go get something new from the monkey. What's also super nice is the filters you can use to narrow down your searches. So you can either use your skins to trade for new ones or deposit money with their 30% bonus. This becomes 35% with my code Wilson. Please use it. Along with this, you can get up to $5 free. Use my code Wilson. The link is in the description. Thank you, Skins Monkey. Now in CSGO, I would have told you that the most important smoke on Mirage to know, the most important lineup, is to jump on top of a barrel and throw tops mid smoke like that. Now in CS2, I think that, whoa, a little surfing. Now in CS2, I think that this top mid smoke just isn't as good as it was in CSGO because you don't have this left side gap that you can push to peak window. Now you have to push the smoke to peak window, so it's not as good. I don't see people throwing it as much anymore. Also, window players can counter it. If you're throwing the smoke every round, they can toss a nade in there and then get you. They can get you like that. So instead, I think the more important smoke now is a window smoke. And this is really easy to throw. You just come into this corner. You see where this building meets this one. You're going to line up to the left side of that in the middle. Hold D, jump through. And that's going to be a nice little window smoke for you. And the weird thing about window smokes in CS2 is that they look like from top mid, it looks like there's gaps where they can peek you. But I can assure you that there aren't any gaps for them to play around. It's a good smoke. They can, however, nade it and then peek once the smoke disperses. Swing behind that nade, but you'll hear the nade drop and you'll know they're about to swing, and so you can get that kill pretty easy. So Mirage mid, super important. Window smoke, I think most important smoke on Mirage. Overpass is kind of tricky. From the CT side, I would probably say a monster smoke from spawn is pretty important. That's how you throw. You come to this corner, aim at the top of that thingy right there. That lands outside of monster, but I think the most important smoke to know is a jump up smoke, one that lands right here and covers that area. Not only does it block an angle that can be kind of hard to deal with when you're pushing A, it also cuts off rotations, right? So to throw this smoke, you come to divider, you come to this bench, just like the old lineup, middle of the bench. Instead of aiming at the people, you aim at this triangle in the light, just in the middle of that triangle. And that's gonna be your jump up smoke. So you're gonna block off this annoying headshot angle here, right? And you also block off rotations because they have to push the smoke if they want to come out to A and fight you guys. So I think that's the most important one. Now for Vertigo, I know you're all looking forward to me talking about this map. I'm honestly tied between two different smokes. The first one is a fast ramp smoke like this. That's a CT side smoke. This gets you A ramp control, right? You can throw that smoke, you can come up ramp, you can throw a molly, you can take ramp control. Super important. A ramp control, incredibly important on this map, right? I'm also tied between this one. T side smoke. You come up to top ramp, you're taking A, you look at headshot, white, whatever you want to call it. This first vertical line, you just stand and aim at the top of that. Now you don't have to be anywhere very specific on here. It's a very easy smoke to throw. And this smokes off heaven, this smokes off hell, it smokes off headshot. If somebody wants to come up here and try to fight, they can't see nothing. And obviously it smokes off a lot of backside. So once you come up ramp, you're really only exposed to this angle. And of course also short. Once you push sight, you're exposed to short is what I mean. But that one isn't really like a lineup, I guess. And my ramp smoke, because I throw it fast now, it's also not an exact lineup, but they sort of count because you need to memorize them and know how to throw them. I'll leave that up to you. What do you think? Do those count? I would say this one counts more so than the T-sided one. Similar to Mirage, taking mid control on Ancient is super important. And so I think the most important smoke is a red room smoke. So you can do that from spawn. You come to the right side of the pillar, come to the back of it, and you see this top little divot. You see each of these has divots. It's the top one. And you just jump throw. Boom, there's your red room smoke. And now you can run out mid and not worry about dying from an opper holding red right there. Inferno's kind of tough. I want to do a T-side smoke, but I have to do this one. And that's the CT smoke from spawn that's going to land ramp. So you're going to come into this corner with the chair, aim at this little white dot just to the top right of it, and jump throw. That's how I throw it. And this lands at the bottom ramp. I'm sure you've seen it. This one I found from Austin CS. I don't know if you've heard of him. And that's going to smoke off bottom banana and bottom mid. But the important thing here is that if you're throwing the smoke every round, you need your team to be using it, right? You need somebody to be coming out mid and like mauling outside of the smoke like that. So then people can't push through the smoke and you can take big control really easily. You need people on banana who are taking banana control, because if they're not doing that, if they're not taking space effectively, then that smoke doesn't do much, right? If people are already up B, if people just push the smoke and take mid, what's the point of wasting your smoke? So that one's kind of contingent on your team making use of it. Nuke, weirdly enough, is one that I'm really having trouble with. And that's because the most important smokes on this map are really easily thrown. Like your default outside smoke, you just bank it against this fence. That's not quite a lineup, is it? That's just you run, throw it, boom, that gets your cross. And then your smoke into midi, another super important smoke, you don't exactly need a lineup for it. You can just run through it and it's just gonna fill up midi really easily. Now to cross from outside to secret without being spotted, you need 2 smokes. So if we're doing the 1 smoke rule, which one's better to know, or is it better to know a different outside smoke? With all that being said, I think a good garage smoke is actually really useful. And so to do that, you're going to come to this blue box, just right in the middle of it. And you see these 2 things right here. You're going to aim at the top right corner of it and just left click. Super easy smoke. Lands in the middle of garage, and a person playing garage, they can't do much. They can nade it, but the good thing with that counterplay is that you can hear the nade bounce, and so you can react to it typically. So kind of a tough one. I'm curious about your guys' opinion on this one. What do you think is the most important smoke lineup in Nuke? Last and certainly least, we have Anubis. I'm just kidding. I like Anubis. I'm just not amazing at it. My favorite smoke, well, smoke I think is most important on this map, that's going to get you a lot of map control, is come into this corner here and spawn the first door. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. Top of the third one, jump throw. And this is going to smoke off beacon, dark, sewer, whatever you want to call it, this little room, right? And this is just panic inducing for CTs. This is such an important smoke because it denies information. And it also doesn't allow an opper to post up on here and catch anybody crossing to A. And another really good, really important aspect of the smoke is that because it denies information, CTs have to respect the fact that there could be 5 Ts hiding behind it, right? Once the smoke dissipates, they have no info. They have to be worried. They have to focus on that. So it forces somebody to be aware, to be scared of it, and often to overextend and try to get info on what's down there in canals after that smoke dissipates. So important smoke, play around with it. Maybe some rounds I like to push it too. If you push that smoke, lots of times you're going to catch somebody holding B main, especially if you have some teammates making some noise B main. Make them respect it. Make them respect the fact that you could push that smoke, that you could lurk behind it, that you could not be there at all. Good smoke to know.